When the tiniest, most innocuous things are up for debate, when your mental health takes a nosedive, when the arguments are endless, when social media gets involved. Yeah, I've been there. Welcome to the Red Room, where we talk and sometimes rant about things. Not every battle has to be fought. Not every battle is yours to fight. In fact, some fights aren't a fight at all. We're just told they are. Everything isn't a movement. Not everything requires a magnifying glass to be placed on it. Some things should be worked out individually. The internet's the most productive, entertaining, and helpful tool we have at our disposal, but it's also become the birthplace of many mental health issues. It's a vicious cycle that both creates and procreates the problem, where echo chambers give certain people the illusion that they're always in the right or that they can do whatever they want to achieve their perceived righteous goals, such as starting hate campaigns, harassment, sending death threats, and spreading misinformation. I'm not going to name any particular examples, but I'm sure you've already thought of a few. What I will say is it's messing with people's heads. When no one can agree on anything, how can any progress be made? If we're all fighting these different fights at the same time, what's actually getting done? Have we come to any agreement? We've swung to the other side of the pendulum. Where everything was once so unchangeably rigid and ridiculously strict, things now seem to be the complete opposite. Nothing is anything, and therefore up for debate. Blue is red, green is purple, and the sky? Well, the sky is sometimes orange. Cancel culture has been growing, and I promise I'm not one of those let's just make racist jokes kind of people. But I also think that not everything is a malicious attack. Jokes are usually just that, especially when they're told by a comedian. But if someone does feel attacked, I'm all for them speaking up and being heard. What I'm not up for is them setting an entire army on someone for some perceived misstep and potentially taking their livelihood or even their life from them. That's a bit disproportionate. We're at the point where we're fighting each other's battles without minding our own. It's easier to point out someone else's flaws and faults, especially now when much of our lives are on display. We can pick a point on the timeline and say, there it is, that's where you screwed up, prepare to be stoned. Obviously, I'm not talking about those who are truly heinous, the rapists and predators and supremacists out there. I'm talking about the people who've been raised up on this pedestal as if they're not human, only to be torn down by a mistake they made 15 years ago. Most people change in that amount of time, but that doesn't matter anymore now, does it? Overpoliticization is a sneaky thing. I recall feeling so accomplished when I read blog posts saying what people should think about this thing or what they should believe about that thing. It felt like I was enacting true change by sharing the message. Spoiler alert, I wasn't. I was just another cog in the machine of an ever-exclusive conversation. I gladly participated, and at the end of the day, I still felt terrible. These things make you hyper-aware of other people's feelings to the point of detriment. It forces you to neglect yourself. You're fighting the good fight after all. Tumblr is the most egregious offender. For me, it was a cesspool of depression and romanticization of mental illness to the point where it even exacerbated mine. That's why I deleted it. Of course you should be a decent human being. Of course you should monitor yourself and your actions. But when we have so much access to so much information, it either desensitizes you or oversensitizes you. Neither is good, and so it's always a good idea to take a step back and reevaluate some things. We're at the point where we can do everything but touch the person on the other side of the screen. The veil is so thin now that in a way, the internet is its own world, and it's getting realer by the second. Politicization is the new table talk. It's the new icebreaker. These are things you have to lay out on the table before anything else. What do you believe in? What don't you believe in? These things determine your validity as a person and just how much, if at all, your voice should be heard. I don't think that's fair or valid. Why should someone's difference in opinion be a wedge that drives you to a heated argument? Why is there a need to play for a particular team and condemn anyone else who isn't on that team? This attitude does not and cannot foster acceptance, positive change, or understanding among people. So why do people subject themselves to this moral anguish? Why did I? The need to fit in, even in the virtual world, is such a powerful need that it overrides a person's sense of individuality. We want to be seen a certain way. We want to be upstanding citizens. We want to be good people. Or we straight up just want to be bullies. And the instant gratification of being backed by thousands, maybe millions of people saying the same thing is almost like a drug. The numbers must mean something. This post got 13,000 likes. That post got 1 million. There must be truth to it. But it's not necessarily true and it's not necessarily wrong. It's ultimately for you to decide. It's healthy to take a break from the routine of refreshing your social media apps. It's good mental hygiene to delete them for some time, maybe even permanently. So much takes up our time during the day, the hours sometimes seem like minutes. But we have to really sit and think. Is this right for me? Is this healthy? Is this how I really feel? Or am I falling victim to the projections of someone or something desperate to be seen? Trends and media are changing to fit into these abstract molds as well, which I can't blame them for. They're trying to maintain profit. They're not actual people, they're business models and bar graphs and statistics. They're following our lead, which is yet another vicious cycle. What they make influences people, and what the people say influences them. Echo chamber. It won't change as long as people are co-signing it. It's time we shatter the chamber and actually open up a conversation. Everyone might not hear what they like, but everyone will be understood. You know, as long as you're not like a Nazi or school shooter or something. Opinions have almost become this tangible thing in some people's minds, something that threatens their very existence. For a while, I got swept up in the hype too. Words become like knives that you can throw, and the more righteous you are, the sharper they cut, the better you feel about yourself in the end. But it's all superficial, accessible with just a click. I believe there are real solutions to the problems of today, but we haven't discovered them yet, not entirely. But we'll get there once the pendulum stops swinging. Let me know in the comments below if you have anything to add to this discussion. I'd be glad to hear it. Stay safe, stay curious, and don't forget to take the leap.